Hello everyone, now let us discuss about renin-angiotensin system 1. In the current session, we will discuss the introduction, actions of RAS on organs and their pathophysiological roles. So what is renin-angiotensin system or RAS? RAS. The renin-angiotensin system participates in the pathophysiology of hypertension, congestive heart failure, myocardial infarction and diabetic nephropathy, and through the actions of angiotensin 2, the RAS system participates in the blood pressure regulation, aldosterone release, sodium reabsorption from renal tubules, electrolyte and fluid homeostasis, and cardiovascular remodeling. These are some of the actions of renin-angiotensin system. Coming to renin-angiotensin aldosterone system. So whenever the renal blood flow decreases, the juxtaglomerular cells of the kidney, they release the renin. And this renin aids in the conversion of angiotensinogen to angiotensin 1. And this angiotensin 1 is converted to angiotensin 2 with the help of ACE, which is nothing but angiotensin converting enzyme, which is present in the lungs. And this angiotensin 2, it performs various actions such as, the first one is it aids in the secretion of aldosterone hormone, and the next is it causes arteriolar vasoconstriction and increases the blood pressure, and from the pituitary gland it leads to the secretion of antidiuretic hormone, and also it increases the tubular sodium chloride reabsorption and potassium excretion and water retention. It increases the sympathetic activity. These are the various actions of angiotensin 2. And similarly, increase in the water and salt retention and effective circulating, whenever the water salt retention occurs and effective circulating volume increases, the perfusion increases. So increased perfusion will have a negative feedback mechanism on the renin release. That is, it inhibits the renin release. Decrease in the renal perfusion, it stimulates the renin release, whereas increase in the renal perfusion, it inhibits the renin release. So hypotension or hypovolemia leads to renal hypoperfusion or activation of aortic or carotid baroreceptors. This leads to increased sympathetic tone, and this leads to low afferent arterial pressure. So three factors: low afferent arteriolar pressure, decreased sodium derivative muscular densa, and increased sympathetic tone. All these three stimulate the renin release from the JD cells. And this renin helps in the conversion of angiotensinogen to angiotensin 1. This is angiotensinogen to angiotensin 1. And this angiotensin 1 is converted to angiotensin 2 with the help of enzyme, angiotensin converting enzyme. And this is the site for the action of ACE inhibitor, angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitor. And this angiotensin 2, it performs various pharmacological actions such as vasoconstriction and increased sympathetic activity, aldosterone release, increase in the sodium absorption, endothelial dysfunction, and prothrombolytic effects. So all these things, they lead to increase in the blood volume, and which finally increases the blood pressure, and this has a negative impact on the renin release. And this angiotensin 2, it binds to angiotensin receptors, and these angiotensin receptors are the site of action for angiotensin receptor blockers. Here you can see the synthesis and metabolism of angiotensin 2. Angiotensin 1 is a plasma alpha-2 globulin. It is present in the liver, and it is converted to angiotensin 1 with the help of renin. So low macula densa sodium chloride, low glomerular afferent pressure, and enhanced sympathetic activity, all these things, they stimulate the renin release, and renin converts angiotensinogen to angiotensin 1. And this angiotensin 1 is converted to angiotensin 2 with the help of ACE. And angiotensin 3 is the first metabolitic product. angiotensin 2 is converted to angiotensin 3 with the help of aminopeptidase. And angiotensin 3 is converted to angiotensin 4 with the help of another aminopeptidase. And angiotensin 3 and angiotensin 4 are inactivated by enzymes called as angiotensinases. So this angiotensin 2 is the principal peptide which regulates the pharmacological actions like vasoconstriction, sodium and water retention, increase in vasoconstriction, increased sodium and water retention, and increased aldosterone secretion. All three are contributed by angiotensin 2. But angiotensin 3 has also affects in causing aldosterone secretions. Usually angiotensin 3 is less potent than angiotensin 2, but angiotensin 3 plays a major role in the secretion of aldosterone hormone. And vasoconstriction leads to rise in BP, and this rise in BP leads to negative feedback mechanism of renin. And similarly, increased blood volume due to increased sodium and water retention, it also has a negative feedback mechanism on the release of renin. Coming to tissue renin-angiotensin system. Previously, we have discussed the renin-angiotensin system in the circulation. Now coming to tissue renin-angiotensin system. It is divided into extrinsic local RAS and intrinsic local RAS. The blood vessels capture circulating angiotensinogen and renin to produce angiotensin 2 at the surface of their intima. And this angiotensin 2, it diffuses to act locally on angiotensin receptors, producing localized responses. This is extrinsic local RAS. Coming to intrinsic local RAS, many tissues like heart, kidneys, brain, blood vessels possess the capacity to synthesize all components of RAS within their cells. Hence the term intrinsic. Depending on their need and pathophysiological status, they can generate angiotensin 2 and 3 intracellularly. And they regulate the organ function, cell growth, cell death, remodeling and fibrosis. Now coming to another important point, that is prorenin and prorenin receptor. We all know that renin is very important in the generation of angiotensin 2. So usually preprorenin is inactive. Upon exposure to certain stimuli, both prorenin and renin are released into circulation, whereas the prorenin is 5 to 10 times higher in concentration when compared to renin in the circulation. And the prorenin is activated both enzymatically and non-enzymatically. The enzymatic activation is carried out by proteases like proconvertase 1 and cathepsin B. And this cleaves off the propeptide to produce the renin. Coming to the non-enzymatic and reversible activation. Binding of prorenin to prorenin receptors, which are expressed in heart, blood vessels, brain, kidneys, eyes and liver, etc. This brings conformational change and the propeptide segment unfolds and the catalytic domain or the catalytic active site of renin is exposed. When renin binds to prorenin receptor, catalytic activity is augmented several folds. And this prorenin by renin can dissociate from prorenin receptor to return to their original states. Hence, the action is reversible. And the prorenin plays an important role in local RAS where it exerts effects via angiotensin 2 dependent and independent pathway. Coming to angiotensin 2 dependent pathway and angiotensin 2 independent pathway. Here, angiotensin 2 dependent pathway leads to activation of prorenin or renin and generation of angiotensin 1. Hence the term angiotensin 2 dependent pathway. and this angiotensin 1 is converted to angiotensin 2 by ACE. And this angiotensin 2, it acts on the tissue cells to produce effects on cell growth, inflammation and apoptosis. Now coming to angiotensin 2 independent pathway, binding of the prorenin or renin to prorenin receptor on the cell surfaces directly triggers intracellular signaling. Here, production of angiotensin 2 is not important. Hence, angiotensin 2 independent pathway. This intracellular signaling is mediated via MAP kinase plasminogen activator inhibitor 1, JAK-STAT pathways and transcription factors. And angiotensin 2 independent pathway, it regulates cell growth, inflammation, fibrosis and apoptosis. Here you can see angiotensin independent pathway and angiotensin 2 dependent pathway. The angiotensin 2 independent pathway is mediated by intracellular signaling, which leads to activation of MAP kinase PA11, JAK-STAT, trans factor F and pro-oncogenes, and they affect the cell growth, fibrosis, apoptosis, remodeling of myocardial or vascular muscle, nephropathy and retinopathy. In case of angiotensin 2 dependent pathway, renin aids in the conversion of angiotensinogen to angiotensin 1, and this angiotensin 1 is converted to angiotensin 2 with the help of ACE enzyme, and this angiotensin 2, it leads to the various mediated pathways. And finally, it also affects the cell growth, fibrosis, apoptosis and remodeling of cardiovascular system. The overactivity of RAS via such signaling, that is due to intracellular signaling, abundantly contributes to pathological changes and end organ damage in many conditions like hypertensive vascular and ventricular hypertrophy, post-infarction myocardial fibrosis and remodeling, congestive heart failure, nephropathy and retinopathy. And the ratio of circulating prorenin to renin is markedly increased in diabetes. This is an important point. The ratio of circulating prorenin to renin is markedly increased in diabetes, which contributes to diabetic nephropathy and retinopathy. Coming to the actions of RAS. Before studying the RAS or actions of RAS, let us discuss the renin-angiotensin system peptides and their identified receptors. The first receptor is angiotensin 1, and the ligands for this receptor are angiotensin 2, angiotensin 3, angiotensin A and angiotensin 1 to 12. The effect is vasoconstriction, hypertrophy, fibrosis and nephropathy. Coming to next receptor, that is angiotensin 2. The ligands are angiotensin 2, angiotensin T2 or ATT, angiotensin 2, angiotensin 3, angiotensin 1 to 7, angiotensin 1 to 9 and angiotensin A. The effect of angiotensin 2 receptors are vasodilation, anti-hypertrophy, anti-fibrosis and natriuresis. Coming to the next receptor, that is MAS. The ligand is angiotensin 1 to 7. Here the effects are similar to angiotensin 2 receptors, that is vasodilation, anti-hypertrophy, anti-fibrosis and natriuresis. The next one is MRDG, which is nothing but MAS related G protein coupled receptor D, and the ligand is alamandine, and the effects are vasodilation, anti-hypertrophy and anti-fibrosis. Next receptor is AT4. The ligand for AT4 receptor is angiotensin 4 and angiotensin 3 to 7. The effect of angiotensin 4 receptors is neuroprotection, cognition, renal vasodilation and natriuresis. And finally, prorenin receptor, PRR, that is nothing but prorenin receptor. The ligands are prorenin and renin. Effects are hypertrophy, fibrosis and apoptosis. Now coming to the actions. The actions of RAS on cardiovascular system. It mainly leads to vasoconstriction both directly as well as by enhancing adrenaline release, and long-term infusion produces progressive rise in BP, increases the force of contraction by promoting calcium influx, and increases heart rate by enhancing sympathetic activity. And cardiac output is reduced and the cardiac work is increased. One more important point is angiotensin II is 40 times more potent pressure agent than noradrenaline. Coming to the risk factors, the cardiovascular effects of RAS may lead to hypertrophy, both ventricular and vascular, hyperplasia and hypertension. And angiotensin II has a little arrhythmogenic propensity, so it does not activate latent pacemakers. Next, coming to action of renin-angiotensin system on adrenal cortex. Angiotensin II and angiotensin III enhance the synthesis and release of aldosterone by acting on distal tubule of kidney. They promotes the sodium reabsorption and potassium and hydrogen or water excretion. Coming to the actions on kidney, angiotensin II exerts indirect effect through aldosterone. It promotes sodium chloride and HCO3 reabsorption, and it reduces the renal blood flow and glomerular filtration rate. The risk factors are in patients with cirrhosis and renovascular disease, angiotensin II increases the glomerular filtration by constricting glomerular effector vessels. Coming to the actions on central nervous system, whenever systemic administration of angiotensin II is done, it induces drinking behavior and antidiuretic hormone release. The plasma volume expansion is seen, increased central sympathetic outflow and pressure responses are seen. Now coming to peripheral sympathetic structure. Angiotensin II, by binding to AT1 receptors, augments the norepinephrine release from the sympathetic nerve terminals by inhibiting the reuptake of norepinephrine into the nerve terminals and by enhancing the vascular response to norepinephrine in model systems. And high concentration of angiotensin II, it stimulates the autonomic ganglion and increases the output of norepinephrine. This is the effect on peripheral sympathetic structure. Now coming to the pathophysiological roles of RAS. First one is mineralocorticoid secretion. Angiotensin II and angiotensin III are the physiological stimuli for aldosterone secretion from the adrenal cortex. The next one is electrolyte, blood volume and pressure homeostasis. RAS plays important role in maintaining electrolyte composition and volume of extracellular fluid. Changes than low blood pressure or low blood volume or decrease in sodium content. Changes in the low blood volume, changes such as low blood volume, low BP and decrease in sodium content induce renin release by three mechanisms. The first one is intrarenal baroreceptor pathway. It acts by decreasing the tension in the afferent glomerular arterioles and partly through increasing the production of prostaglandins, especially PGE2, and also through the production of nitric oxide, and partly via stretch sensitive ion channels. The next mechanism is through regulation is through macula densa pathway. Low sodium and chloride concentrations in the tubular fluid, whenever they are detected by macula densa cells, this leads to activation of COX-2 and the nitric oxide synthase. And this leads to release of prostaglandin E2 and I2, and these PGs they act on the extraglomerular cells to promote the renin secretion. The next pathway is beta adrenoreceptor pathway. The baroreceptors and other reflexes increase the sympathetic impulses to juxtaglomerular cells, and activation of beta-1 adrenoreceptors increases the intracellular cyclic AMP and it triggers the renin release. Increased renin release is translated to increased angiotensin II. That is mainly by acute rise in BP by vasoconstriction and increased sodium and water reabsorption. Coming to feedback mechanisms. It can negative feedback mechanism. Renin has negative feedback mechanism. It is of two types, long loop negative feedback mechanism and short loop negative feedback mechanism. The long loop negative feedback mechanism is seen by rise in BP, which leads to inhibition of renin release. And short loop negative feedback mechanism occurs by activation of AT1 receptors on the JD cells, which inhibit the renin release directly. And long-term stabilization of BP is achieved through these mechanisms. Coming to the pharmacological implications and the renin release and mechanism. Various drugs and their effect on renin release. The first one is ACE inhibitors and angiotensin 1 antagonists. They enhance the renin release by directly affecting the short loop and long loop negative feedback mechanism. The next are vasodilators and diuretics. They also enhance the renin release by lowering blood pressure. The next are loop diuretics. Even they enhance the renin release by reducing entry of sodium and chloride into macula densa cells. Next drugs are central sympathiolytics and beta blockers. They decrease the renin release by interfering with beta adrenoreceptor pathway. And next are NSAIDs. And they also selective COX-2 inhibitors and nitric oxide synthase inhibitors. They also reduce the renin release by inhibiting PG production and causing sodium and water retention. These are the various drugs and their effects on renin release and their specified mechanism. Coming to the next pathophysiological role of RAS is development of hypertension. The RAS is directly involved in renovascular hypertension. Here, the plasma renin activity is raised. And in essential hypertension also, RAS has a permissive role, though the plasma renin activity is either raised or lowered based on other factors. And the next point is secondary hyperaldosteronism. RAS is instrumental in the development of secondary hyperaldosteronism. And coming to the effects on CNS, it leads to regulation. They function as the RAS components, they function as transmitter or modulator, and they aid in the regulation of thirst, hormone release, and sympathetic outflow. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe for further videos on pharmacology and other related pharmaceutical sciences.